What is our pre-approval process? When you send me a client, what happens next? Let's go.
Number one, you will send the lead over to myself or Chris, and Chris will give that client an initial call where they'll go over their goals, what they're looking to do, and we will let them know how we're going to help them to do that.
Yeah, I always do an introduction call with the client where I get to know their goals, I get to know what is the down payment they have budgeted, what's their monthly payment goal, and then I always ask, if there were two things that we could do to make this a great process and a great experience for you and your family, what would those two things be? And we make sure that throughout our entire process, we're really committed to those two things. Whether it's, hey, look, get me the best rate and just do everything as fast as possible. We know, hey, look, with this client, all we're gonna do is rush everything, submit everything, make sure everything's accurately approved, but get this client to the closing table in 2 weeks. Let's make that happen. Another client may, for example, just be, hey, look, just please over communicate with me, and I'm a first-time home buyer, so just hold my hand through the process.
Exactly.
And we really will.
Yeah, and our core values all boil down to those conversations and those questions that Chris has asked. We set our expectations and our core values based upon the goals and wants of our clients and your clients as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So after Chris has that conversation, that is where I come in. Within 5 minutes of Chris putting that phone down, they will get a call from me. And 9 times out of 10, when they answer the phone, they say, wow, that was fast.
Yep.
And I say, yeah, it was fast, it's important. We're trying to get them a house, we're trying to get them a home. So I will then run through a very detailed but brief 10-minute questionnaire with them, go through information regarding their employment history, their residential history, and I will also pull their credit. After that conversation, they'll get an email from Chris. Chris will break down exactly what documentation we need from them in order to get them pre-approved. So that comes down to us issuing these accurate pre-approvals. That documentation process is something that a lot of lenders might skip over. They might not go all the way into detail. They might not read the last page of those bank statements. But they're the kind of things that come closing are going to really impact the buyer. So we make sure that we do our due diligence up front, and that collection of documentation is vital. After we get all the documents, Chris, what's next?
Yeah, 100%. Once we get those documents, within about 24 to 48 hours, depending on complexity, if it's someone with 10 different companies that they own and 15 different K1s, that's not going to be 24 hours because they're not going to get us the documents in 24 hours. Okay, but with the easy, W-2, they have all the assets. We can do same-day pre-approvals, fully underwritten for that. But for the very, very complex ones that maybe they got declined by a different lender or 3 other lenders, and it's a save a deal, 48 hours tops on that one. Okay, and then after that, I do my consultation with the client. Everything is prepped and set up for success. And what I do is I go over with the client, what is their maximum approval? But then also, what approval should they stick with to meet their monthly payment goal, to meet their savings goals, meet their investment goals? I also go over, hey, what are your long-term real estate goals? Are there any other opportunities that I can send back to you as the realtor that you may not even be aware of, all right? Also, I program them for referrals. I say, hey, look, how was your experience with me and our team so far? They always say, your team is absolutely wonderful. And I say, well, look, I really appreciate that, and if you mean that, all I'm asking for is 1 referral this year. And if you send me that client in the first place, then when that client then sends me a referral, that is always gonna go back to you. Right after that, I call the realtor and I go over, hey, look, what are the parameters that we need to stick with for this client? What are the programs that we have them structured for? All right, then we issue that pre-approval letter to you, to the client. We have a timeline with it, and we have the monthly payment and a decent itemization of closing costs attached as well. So you're fully aware of the client's situation.
That's right. And once that pre-approval is issued, that's when it is your job. That's when we rely on you to work your magic, get them the executed contract, and get them to the closing table.
Absolutely. So if you need anything at all we would really appreciate from you is your next easy deal. Just kidding. Your next 3 easy deals, all right? Because look, the truth is you might send me somebody that has a 490 credit score, and guess what? We're gonna treat them the same way that we would with that 805 credit score, 800,000 a year W-2 buyer buying $1 million property. We're gonna treat them the same whether it's a 490 credit score individual buying a $50,000 condo in a 55 plus community. We do not give up on anybody. Both Daniel and I, played soccer back in the day, and that is why we are so competitive about simply being the best. If there's one thing that we can really summarize this into is our goal. If if these 3 core values come into one thing, our biggest goal is to simply be the best. All right, so if you want that service, give me a call, 561-801-0260. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to have an amazing Molina Monday. Molina out.